Your playing small does not serve this world. So if you can't do it for yourself, do it for others. Look up and become. Become whatever you want to become.
Join us on this journey at Jenna Clifford. Together, we create magic. Jenna Clifford Design Jewelers, where dreams come to life.
3, 2, 1. Jenna Clifford. Jenna. So beautiful to see you as always, still looking radiant. I don't know why you don't age. I don't know what you're up to. But for those that are just coming on now, Jenna Clifford, world-renowned jewelry artist, known for her bold and dramatic designs. Also a beautiful mother to two beautiful daughters, 3 beautiful daughters that I know some of them. 2 grandchildren.
2 grandchildren, yes.
And your daughters are part of your empire that you've been growing for years, the Jenna Clifford brand, which is unbelievable. But more so, you're also such a beautiful, good friend and mentor to so many people out there. Jenna, welcome. You're looking radiant. How's it?
Thank you, young brats. Hello, everybody. Kaz Granny, the power crone,
the wisdom,
the love crone,
the wisdom. You know, people ask me, Brett, what do you look
Friends
for in
very
your
wise.
Exactly. People say, what do you look for in your podcast? I want to speak to people that I admire and I look up to you, and you most certainly are one of those beautiful women that have inspired me over the years, and we've spent time together. In actual fact, I've come down to White River and I've stayed at your place. I swam at the lake, such a gorgeous area. Back then you were commuting, I don't know if you still are, but you were like on a helicopter to Joburg, back to White River and Nelspruit. How's things going? Are you still that involved in your business? Are you still gallivanting between the two, getting balance and all that type of stuff?
You know what's exciting about life is it always changes. And my last born that I had when I was 42 and a half is turning 20. So she matriculated last year. So obviously bearing children in the area, I had to go up and down from work to visit my family, and obviously responsibilities of running assets, etc., which we are only custodians of in our lifetime. So I'm pleased to say I'm in the jungle of Johannesburg, South Africa, in particular, Sandton, up on the hill, and we holding South Africa and going to try and rebuild it. How's that?
I love that. And that's why I love you. You see, you're so passionate about life, but more so you lean towards women's rights and equality. And I just find that so beautiful in today's time. Of course, it's been around for ages, but you're outspoken about it. You stand for the voice of the women in this country and around the world. And I really, that is just something that you've always done. You've invited me to be a guest speaker at one of your events. You put on events, you mentor people. Jenna, I want to go straight into this. Is it your own experience of disempowerment that turned this into your mission with women?
I think some of us are privileged to be born into abuse, like Oprah Winfrey, or many. I mean, there's many. Tina Turner. We're giving out women that transcended from their pitiful and really relegated states. And what's exciting is when that's been done to you, you don't want it for anyone else. Anyone. You only know that love can transcend these barriers. Love and education. So I'm pleased to announce for all women and good men like you, the godly men, that on the 22nd of December just last year, the gateways opened and the heavens have come in for the feminine. And anybody around the world that wants to be sustainable, that wants to grow in love, that wants abundance, that wants the very best for themselves and all others. So it's now the time of the feminine. And we know when I say feminine, we need the power of love and sustainability. And great men out there that deeply understand the responsibilities as custodians and what we do to the planet and what we do to ourselves and what we do to one another.
I love that. I love that. But just in layman terms, me as a man wanting to support women empowerment, what would be the best thing for me to do? What action? Who do I need to be? What does it look like for men that don't know that they're all for it, but what do they do?
Okay, well, first of all, it takes a real man to have enough man in him to accept the feminine and the power of the feminine. Because basically, women were stripped of sovereignty in the Roman Judaic collusion of time. Women's sovereignty, property rights, and heir title were stripped. That at a convenient time, I think, was very convenient for all men. But we've seen what power does in absolute power. And a bird is always flown with two wings, and so does a plane, and so does a rotor plane. So the bottom line is the oneness has been the destroyer. So men like you and the godly men that are rising now with the feminine are displaying the virtues of balance, the sun and the moon. So I think the passage for enlightened men, spiritual men, real men, the time is now, because we really do need to fix what has been done. It's not only the oppressed from the emotions, it's not only the physically oppressed, the fiscally oppressed, it's actually a lot more than that, because the rivers are destroyed, the sea is destroyed, the ozone is destroyed. And we've got to move rapidly and consciously to and with this fourth revolution to ensure that these oligarchs and the land of power belts do not simply suck us all into the abyss.
You know, Jenna, this just reminds me of your power and your resilience. Before we
within all of us. It's within every one of us.
Yes, it is. But in particular, you lean into it. There's no filter with you. And that's why I love you. And I want to ask you something. Does this come around from, you know, even prior to you getting into business, you've been Businesswoman of the Year. In actual fact, you've been honored by torchbearer for United Nations with Desmond Tutu and the Soweto Choir. You are a renowned woman. What does an empowered woman look like? Because when I see an empowered woman, I see you. Did that confidence come from your younger age? What was it? You used to be a swimmer, so you had a lot of discipline in your life. And has that rubbed off into that?
I think that's why sport or art or a discipline is vital, that mothers entertain the idea to children as early as possible, because it's bridges, it teaches delayed gratification, it teaches excellence, it teaches you to lose before you can win. It sharpens your brain because you're getting more oxygen. It gives you a prime body. It's a good addicted habit to have in a world where addiction is its biggest problem due to its pain. So I think that's very good. But I think the platform of success is not a pretty picture. And I don't want to delude anyone, because commensurate with fighting for rights, for fighting for others, it is very disruptive to power. They like donkeys, they like mules, they like abusing things. So remember, there's a lot of pressure at the top. The tallest trees catch the most wind. And by the way, people speak in metaphors of empires, etc., etc. In actual fact, we are born alone and we die alone. It's what we do with the gaps in between. So commensurate with assets. By the way, most people donate their assets. I'm one.
Yes,
do you understand?
Do.
It sits in its own entity.
Yeah.
One looks after others through the efforts of what one does for oneself. And I think that is where success lies, because it's not a pretty picture, so to speak. It has beautiful moments, it has sustainable moments, but it also has deep moments, it has dark moments, it has scary moments. And those are the moments that gets exalted growth. If one is prepared to go through the fire, one can ignite as a phoenix, but it does take bravery. But commensurate with bravery, it should always take learning, because to cut paths yourself slows you down. So always learn from the best of the collective of others, and never stick in one small dimension of a proclivity, because we're more whole now. We want to be whole.
This is a beautiful message. It's also a profound message to men as well, not just women, equally. What you've just shared with you is, I hope all the men and the women are taking note of what you've shared. However, when I've come to your office before, I walk in, there's a picture of you with Gary Player, with Nelson Mandela, and all these like A-list celebrities. I want to share with you that you've been mentored in your life. You have been wise to surround yourself with people that help you live with an optimal mind, body, and soul. You've got consciousness professors that I've met that are friends of yours. You surround yourself with people, but you pay it forward. You've taken it on yourself to now mentor other people. You are involved in so many women's empowering programs. You sit on certain boards, but more importantly is that individually you take responsibility and you empower women around you. I've been to your office, and there's a queue of ladies, powerful women, by the way, not poor me needing help, powerful women wanting to rub off and get that essence of what you have and what you've
lonely at the top for most. And I do men as well, because cowboys can't cry. And remember the duality. You've got to be very fluid in the capacity to love even those that wound you. That's the point. Absolutely. And the thing is, I didn't have mentors. I had books as mentors only, because beings don't want to see diminished people, poor people, abused people. It's not a pretty picture. They don't want to be there. There's nothing that they can gain from it. So books became my friend, even though I'm partially dyslexic. So that's why I think we've all got to look at what we feel our Achilles heel is. Know it. From that, you also know what your talents are. And often from diminishment, one feels one doesn't have talents because you're normally diminished by mind, body, and soul in some way through the abusive system, or the patriarchal system, or the globalized system, or the governmental system, or the hierarchy system, or the groot kokedoer in die huis. And that means in international language, as we know, the boss of the house. Luckily, we're seeing now in the world, particularly now, incredible leadership from women and younger male leaders internationally. They're filled of capacity, they're filled of hope, they're filled of love. And you've just got to look around the world now. So that's super encouraging for everybody.
Absolutely. So just leaning into that, why, Jenna, why do you choose to mentor other people? It's time, it's investment. What is it that Jenna does?
That journey of life means you've got to go mind, body, and soul. So the thing is, irrespective, you've got 24 hours in a day, and you've got a choice of how you spend it. So you've got to spend some time on yourself, your body, your nurturement, your fun, your movies, your let's also say it, your sex, or your love, because you've got to fill those banks. Commensurate with that, you've got to do spiritual work. So instead of sitting on a yogi mat, chanting, go and chant to people. Get out of your box. Stop being shy. Fear is F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Reach out. That's it.
I like that. But you don't just reach out. You have many ways and channels to do this. One of the things that I'm fascinated by is that you're actually a medium. Like you can channel things, and with someone sitting right in front of them, read them and give them a message that's channeling through you. How is this possible? How do you do this? Do you see dead people? Do you hear people walking to you? I mean, talking to you? Do you see pictures? How does this actually happen?
There's the power of nature and the power that we were born to be. If you go into any space that is outside or got a good portal energy, elements, sun, stars, moon, etc. Even if you're in a city like I am, we create gardens, the potted gardens, portal gardens. And one starts to really know that your soul and your mind have no quantum in real weight, but they exist. And this pineal gland that is like literally the size of the tip of the pinky of your finger, that is conical, is the most potent eyes you will ever have. It overrules these, in fact. That portal and the power of that universe, that planetary power that is absolute to matter. Mind goes over matter. So one simply out of love sucks in the abundance of love, and everything is told. And everybody has that capacity. Unless you are brushing your teeth 3 times a day and eating the fluoride toothpaste. Reduce your fluoride in your toothpaste. Reduce it. Rinse your mouth 3 times.
So getting back to the question, and you gave me a very cool answer. Do you listen to the feedback? Is that how it comes, or does it come in visuals, or what is it? What does it look like? Is it listening to source? Is it connecting to source?
Energies reach one differently.
Yes.
Various energies. Plants have energies. Animals have energies. Humans have energies. Trees have energies. In fact, they all have their lean to what they are, the feminine or the male.
Yes.
So depending on...
And they've all got a message, right? They all got messages.
And they've all got a message because a tree is carbon. If you reduce our water and we take it out, we are mainly reduced only carbon. So the bottom line is we have stopped the ability. When we took out the feminine in what we call the witchery wars, we terminated healers, and we took out in 300 years, 15 million women terminated their lives.
Wow.
This power was lost then.
Yes.
But from the 22nd of this last December, the portals have opened again.
Most certainly. I mean, and I bless and I wish and I pray and I meditate. Absolutely. I believe we have male, female energies within ourselves as well as an individual, right? Which is very important to live between the two in that balance. But somebody that can't come to you, have you got a technique that they can connect through their third eye and listen to the universe's feedback to guide them?
You know, the simplest way is the gem world, which is the primordial energy of the crystal world. So your semi-precious gems are very, very inexpensive. And you can buy them anywhere around the world in huge bags for very, very little money. The bottom line is, through that, it works electromagnetically. All modern day cars don't have pistons anymore. They work off quartz catalyst sleeves. Surrounded, excuse me.
You excuse
my water went down the wrong pipe.
Take your time. Sorry. Have a sip of water, no problem.
I probably also got quite excited at the question, but the primordial energy is the power that your mind and your soul can resonate through. So things like pink quartz, tiger eye, topaz, citrines, all relatively very inexpensive gems will create a vibration for you to get a portal. literally.
That's beautiful. So people can do that by themselves and connect to it. There's many ways to connect to source, to your higher self.
That's the easiest way to go through primordial energy. And it's 5 billion years old. So it came way, way before us.
Yeah. Jenna, I want to read something that you mentioned, right? It's been a long road. Some of the lessons have been painful, but they define me. The way that you look at your challenges from a place of non-victimhood, but or rather you look through eyes of possibility, then victimhood is something that makes you so, so unique. I also want to share with you, you remind yourself things are not always as they seem. What do you mean by that, special one?
It's like watching the Kardashians. What you see is not what you get. It's like watching the president of the United States of America that is going on the second impeachment. What you see is not what you get. So this is the deception of the veil of the systems that most beings, no matter how pretty they are, no matter whether they're Victoria's Secret models, whether they are international icons in Hollywood or Bollywood, the system robs, takes, and harnesses. So we've got to get out of that. So the show that I've always run in those words is every doggy gets his day. And it's up to us on every challenge to look up and walk the high road and not the low road. That's the bottom line. And life can be exciting because usually from any crash burn, remember there's jealousy everywhere because of the system. So if you do something well, you got to watch what's happening behind you because they come from behind. So you need eyes at the back of your head too. That's why love puts a shield around you. But evil always wants to impregnate that. We've got to always be aware of the dark. The great religions talk about it, but sometimes there's veils to things are not as they seem. So we're in a time of truth now, a time of transparency, a time of renewal, revival, and seeing through things. It's the time of the lunar. So for anybody that's listening to this podcast, already you are running your highest light in your soul because you're already seekers. You're seekers of a different pathway. You are seekers. So you're already vibrating within the correct order. Always look up.
I agree with you. So beautiful. Always look up at the possibility that we are spiritual beings living a human experience and not human beings living a spiritual experience changes the game dramatically, right? Possibly we were never born and we'll never die from this spiritual perspective, such a beautiful place. And you act from that place. It's like nothing stays the same forever. This too shall pass. It's such a beautiful moment.
I love that one. This too shall pass. And that also means if we're having the party of our lifetime in the apex of whatever, this too shall pass.
I agree with you 100%. So just coming to a sort of end here, I want to bring this in here and just please Karen with those pearls of wisdom. What do you think the purpose of life is, Jenna Clifford?
Purpose of life is to transcend and maximize the love in the playground of matter. So you can test your power and you can test your weakness. You can test your bravery and you can test your fears in a delayed, safe environment to the spiritual attunements of when you learn the power of your mind. How's that?
I love it. And the power of love, right? Love, the ultimate success in life.
And
Jenna,
from this granny, this granny, and from this mommy, and you know, I've always seen you as a son.
Yes.
Even though you're always far away.
Yes. And so I've always felt that with you. I've always,
And we seeing the Venus and the victory for all. That's the bottom line. We're seeing the light of love.
Yes.
So have a beautiful day.
We most certainly are. And we most certainly are. And I just want to carry on inspiring us, carry on leaning into this beautiful life. This life is so gorgeous. You know, as two people can have the exact same experience in the day. One can end the day and say, whoa, what a gorgeous day. The other one's like, oh my God, what a cock up, right? And you are always seated in that seat of optimism. I love you for it. One message for every woman that is listening to this podcast now, it can be for men as well, but what message do you have for the women that are looking for to be empowered, coming in with that equality?
It goes to Marianne Williamson.
Love it.
You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve this world. So if you can't do it for yourself, do it for others. Look up and become. Become whatever you want to become. That's the point, isn't it? I'm now going into a nice coffee meeting. It's a good addiction. And I look forward to chatting to you late this afternoon, young Brett.
Beautiful, Jenna. Thank you so much for your love.
Have a lot of love, eh? Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this message and feel emotionally moved and touched about it. If you want more of the same, you know what to do. Hit the subscription button and the notification bell, and let's continue creating a ripple effect of love. Thank you.